curl specialist,
Yeah.
author, spiritual guide, maybe? Is that too much? Go ahead and let everybody know what your name is, and I guess like what do you what's your title?
Yeah. So my name's Jeri, which is kind of confusing for some people because my my name on Instagram is HairByNature, which came from me just being a lover of nature and plants and pretty much all things natural.
Okay.
But also like the Nay in nature comes from my middle name, which is Janae.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So that's where it originated from.
Yeah.
Growing up, I went by my middle name, but then when I became an adult, I was like, this is my name, my
So
first name,
so Jerry. Okay,
Jeri.
gotcha.
Yeah.
What guided you to be a specialist in that realm? Like, how did you approach that? Was that something you've always wanted to do, or did that happen on its own?
Um, I wouldn't say it was something I always wanted to do. I think it just came from my own personal struggle, like with my hair. Um, that can come, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it was a struggle. I think one being mixed with black and white
Right.
or any multicultural, not a lot of people know how to do curly hair, whether you're mixed or full black or full Mexican. I mean, I have a lot of clients that are Mexican, so like
My
I have all races like
yeah.
that have curly hair. But I think it just came from my own struggle and like growing up, um, curly hair, you just kind of seemed like you're more accepted if your hair is straight because everybody else has straight hair.
Yeah.
So I went through a struggle of having like wanting to straighten my hair every day and then going through like my hair being damaged and then figuring out how to like take care of my curls and going through a struggle, which is what all my clients go through pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm able to kind of relate to their struggle.
My nephew, he has curly hair. He's the only one in the family that has curly hair, and his curls are really like I don't know if I say thick.
Mm,
It's really curly,
mm.
and none of us know how
What
to
to do?
yeah work on it other than just like comb it.
Yeah,
But obviously, like you can't run the comb anymore,
yeah.
so we have to brush it, right?
Mm.
So that's what I'm thinking about too now. I'm like maybe it's time that I take them to
Yes.
you because I have
That's like literally the story of all my clients. They're like the one person in their family that has curly hair.
yeah
And so they'll be told their hair is frizzy or bushy,
yeah
but it's just that everybody else has straight hair. So you can't do the same things that straight hair people are doing if you have curly hair.
yeah. I feel like it's like overlooked because like you mentioned, everybody does have curled straight hair.
Mhm.
So like curls is just something that's like not thought about,
Yeah.
And I feel like that one time that I went to your shop in Atwater,
Hmm.
that was like the first time that I started realizing like how much of a
Different.
big deal that is in a
Yeah.
household
Yeah.
because yeah, the kids are trying to figure out, right, like you mentioned, like it's like trial and error. He's
Yes.
doing all these things and you don't know what's gonna work.
Yeah.
But luckily, like I think your services when it comes
Hmm.
to that, it's actually like very,
Yeah.
helpful for parents because I mean it's better now than when they're older and they still know what's going on.
Yeah. That's kind of where I come in for a lot of my clients, especially younger kids. Their parents usually bring them in for that exact reason. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with their hair. Like, a lot of times they're getting older in age, so they're starting to care what they look like. Before it's like they could have walked out of the house looking crazy, but now they care about what they're looking like. And then I just love that I'm able to like fill in that gap and be like, all you have to do is this. Like, I keep it really simple.
Yeah.
These are the tools. This is what you need, and then they're able to like use that forever. So.
What are like some tips or what's like something that anybody can start with when it comes to like curly hair? I don't know if that's vague or not.
No, it's not
Okay.
actually. What the number one thing, I mean, two of the biggest things I'd say, are moisturizing your hair, and it's so deeply misunderstood
Okay.
moisturizing curly hair because most of us think that we moisturize with products,
Hmm.
but the only thing that truly is moisture is water, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right. Yeah.
a lot of times people will moisturize with products, and so it's just like this buildup of product after product after product. When
Okay.
really, we just, if you use water as much as you use product, your hair would probably be so much better when it
Okay.
comes to curly hair.
What's like something to not do when it comes to curly hair?
Something to not do, wash it every day or comb it every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. So before going into, I guess, into that career of, being the curly hair specialist, um, what were you doing before then? Like, before, before you started in that path, like, was there a transition that made you decide that you were gonna pursue that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's to me it's funny, but so like I had went to beauty school and everything, and I worked at a salon for a little bit, like kind of just trying it out. But I kind of had this bug in my ear. Everybody around me, like, how are you gonna like take care of yourself? Like,
Yeah.
like that's not a job. Like, so I ended up looking for an actual job,
Okay.
and I was a
How old were you at the
delivery.
time,
I was I was actually, let's see,
if you remember?
I was my daughter's 9 now, and she was like 2, so 7 years ago. So I was like 27,
Okay.
which is old, but
No, no.
I was like 27, and I became a delivery driver at Round Table.
Okay.
And so I was doing that for like, I don't know, it wasn't even that long, less than a year.
Yeah.
And I could only work a certain amount of hours because I had my son and my daughter and everything. So I would make like not very much a day, like maybe $200 on my each paycheck.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, let me try to do hair on the side, like, so I got into another salon and I was working a little bit, and I had kind of started building up clientele. Like I would work when I could at the salon, and then I had
Okay.
my regular job.
Were you working on hair before that, like on a regular basis?
Not a regular
Okay.
basis. I was like so skeptical of it. Like, it's not going to be able to support me, like with having kids and everything. And I remember one day I was supposed to go into my little shift that was a couple hours.
Mhm.
And one of my clients texted me and was like, hey, I really want this style done today. Like, can you do it at this time? And it was at the same time as my scheduled shift.
For work. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, I just remember like I could go to work and make like $30 or something,
Yeah.
or I could go for the same amount of time and make like triple that.
Yeah.
And that was like the last time I ever went to Round Table. I didn't
Oh, damn.
even,
Yeah, that was like the.
I was like, yeah, no, if I could do this once, like at least one client a day, I would make
Yeah.
more. So that was like kind of a turning point for me, realizing that like in the same amount of time, I can make more money.
Right.
And so then I think I can support myself if I go this route. Um, that was one of the times that I feel like I started taking it really serious.
Yeah. Okay. Before, I guess like before you opened your shop, was that something, when did that start becoming like a reality to you, where you started thinking that I can definitely go
Um,
like full time?
Kind of when I started taking it really serious,
Right.
that was when I started having like telling my clients like one day I want to have my own product, and then it turned into like one day I want to have my own salon, because at that point I was like um I just being around other stylists, I just felt like I did things totally different. And so it's
Okay.
kind of hard when you have your own vision
Yeah.
and then you're around people that have like an opposite vision, not to say theirs is wrong or anything like that, but
Yeah. It's not aligned.
yeah, it just wasn't aligned. And so I feel like I found myself in that situation at each salon that I had tried
Oh,
to be at. And so it kind of became like, I think I need my own like space to create my own, like, that's just how I am too. Like, I like being in my own element, in my own
yeah.
space. And
You
so,
weren't meant to fit in. You were supposed to stand out.
yeah, to create my own path. I think
Yeah.
I've always done that. I've always created my own path. So
Yeah.
always some sort of artistry, something that like keeps your mind in your hands. And like, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you did move towards, I mean, when you became like essentially, an entrepreneur and a business owner,
Hmm.
how was that like juggling? I mean, like, because you're also a full-time mom,
Hmm.
right? Like, what kind of struggles did you face, and was there any like doubt that you were like, okay, maybe this isn't?
Yeah, I think that that's a good question because, again, like creating my own lane
Mhm.
is really a big part of me. So, like, going through motherhood and like having my children and everything, when I created my own space, I was able to have my kids there. So,
Okay.
I've had 3 kids that have grown up in the salon at this point.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
so, I feel like with that, with juggling the two at the same time, actually. So it's like it's a juggle in the moment, but it's like less of a juggle because I'm doing it all at the same time. It's like
Right.
simultaneous. But
Okay.
I also feel like it's created such a strong bond between me and my community and my clients too, because they've seen my kids grow up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just,
You found the way.
Yeah, I found a way. And I just feel like that's a huge part of like now where I'm at today, especially with I just had a baby 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I just
Damn.
had my daughter five
My
weeks ago.
bad.
Yeah.
Damn, I got way
Um,
too soon.
yeah, I just had my daughter 5 weeks ago. So, I worked through my pregnancy. I was having like some health issues too.
Okay.
And so pretty much near the end, my appointments were like kind of like on call. Like I might make it, I might not because I
Right.
was feeling
Yeah.
really sick. So my clients were super understanding of that, which made
Yeah.
me realize how much of a amazing community I had.
Yeah.
And then even after I had my daughter, I was like
Uh,
working a week after.
damn.
And so, but it's because I had been taking so much time off
Okay.
near the end, and then I found out what was wrong, and I was able to like reverse it basically. So
Okay.
after I had my daughter, I felt like amazing. So I was like, I need to get back to work.
Yeah. That's wild, dude. That's so wild. Dang.
Yeah, a week. All my clients were like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I feel so much better now.
Yeah, after
Like
the
I have energy. I can breathe. Like oh my
yeah.
gosh, I feel alive." Yeah,
Dang. Well, I mean, kudos to you being able to like get back into work like that
yeah.
quick after a whole
I
pregnancy.
say all that just to say I really do love the juggle of motherhood and entrepreneurship. I think it makes me thrive more.
Okay.
Like it really feeds my soul to be able to do that.
Fulfilling.
Yes,
Dang.
very fulfilling.
Let's talk about your shop.
Okay.
How would you describe it? Like, what kind of thought process went into everything that's in there? Because
Mm.
when I went there, I felt like it was a place where it's like very peaceful,
Hmm.
very zen-like.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm talking
I
about
would
that.
say like my thought process into creating this space was like almost like people can feel like they're at home when they come in there. So it's like it doesn't feel like a traditional salon.
No, it doesn't.
Like when you step in there, you feel like at ease and like relaxed. Even the music that I play is like really chill and relaxing. The plants I feel like bring that like
Oh, big time.
calmness.
Yep, big
Yeah.
time.
And then it's really cool because it's always been very intimate because it's either been me by myself or me and another stylist.
Mhm.
So when people come in there and they're getting their hair done, it's like you really, people really open up.
Yeah,
I know it's like the culture of the salon, but
right.
when it's just you and your stylist and it's like
It just
all
has to
zen
be.
and you're all
Yeah,
relaxed and then some clients I could be working on for like 6 hours with when I do like, braids and stuff
yeah,
because I do curls and braids.
yeah.
Um, I think that there was a lot of times where I was like creating this space where I would like put something up and then I'd sit down and be like, how would I feel if I walked in here?
Nice.
Or like,
Yeah,
putting little like messages to people, like little things on the wall, that have little quotes on them and stuff like
yeah,
that. I like sat and experienced it to be like, how would I feel? Like, would this make me feel good? You know?
yeah, yeah.
And then I think also just with my own lifestyle and it being very busy,
Right.
um, I know that people are taking their time sometimes off
To see
work
you.
or yeah,
Yeah,
out of their chaotic life and also their like hard-earned money. And I want them to like feel like it's completely worth the experience.
I like that. Talk about the name of the
Aura?
shop. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So it's AURA11 Beauty Studio. The Aura part, I feel like it's almost something unspoken.
yeah,
Like everybody has an aura. Some people have like that thing that you just like are drawn to, or
right.
like you feel like you could connect with them, and then other people don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I just, I don't know. It's a word that stuck out to me when I was trying to create like a name of the salon where if people are going to be like, oh, what's your salon called?
Yeah,
Or 11, it kind of makes you wonder. It kind of puts that
it
vibe out there.
does. Yeah.
And then I named it Beauty Studio just because I felt like I definitely wanted to be like a staple in the community and not like just a salon.
Okay.
I wanted to be able to do whatever else I felt like doing
Yeah.
because I am a creative.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself in a box or
Yeah,
anything.
I didn't want to put myself in a box. And then like piggybacking off the name, I also have the sign in there. You probably remember that says protect your aura.
Yeah.
So that's like protect your aura,
It feels
protect your
like it.
energy, your core self, like protect everything that you are,
It's like
like
you.
be who you are.
And you said it's like your 5th year anniversary this month.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
COVID.
they usually say like a successful business has a span, I think, of like 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Like after you
If
pass
you
five
can make
years.
it past 5 years. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that from a millionaire one time.
What do you think you did that made the lifespan of your business be successful in that sense?
In short term, I protected my aura. I stayed true to myself. I feel like there has been times that I was like, maybe I should just work from home. Like anybody, I could do hair from home. Like
Yeah.
I've thought of different things or renting out a booth, but I just feel like um it's important to like stay true to yourself. I started it for a reason, and like this year has been a big year just in seeing the way my clients have come together through my pregnancy,
Okay.
the type of community that it builds. Like I I'm like at this point, being 5 years in, my life is like my community and my friends are like my clients. That's all
Yeah.
that I do all the time. Like
Yeah.
they've become a community for me, like checking in on me. And
Dang.
I mean, I my clients got me like legitimate gifts for my baby, like
Oh wow.
like
Yeah.
before she was here, you know. I ended up having to cancel my baby shower because I was sick.
Okay.
But clients still brought gifts. They would
Yeah.
come to their appointments and bring gifts. Like,
They're like family now.
yeah, it's like family. Yeah, I can't even, it's hard to even put it into words. Like,
No, I mean, obviously you're doing something right.
yeah,
They feel that way,
yeah,
to bring that sort of presence
yeah.
and everything. I don't know if you ever look at like TikToks, right?
Mm.
But I don't know how I ended up on that side of TikTok, but I ended up on the side of TikTok where a lot of the women were like not trying to buy into the services like,
Mm.
when it comes to like hair
Yeah,
and beauty and all that.
yeah.
What do you think made you stand out and made you, I guess, like be able to still, have like those reoccurring customers and
Hmm.
have everybody still want to work with you during a time where, especially right now,
Yeah.
and in this economy,
Yeah.
like what do you think is like something that you're providing that's like very, I don't know, that stands out for him?
Yeah. I think a big one is education because I pride myself on that. Like I truly want my client to sit in my chair and then with whatever knowledge they have or don't have, and then I want them to leave a completely like different person as far as their hair and like knowing exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Um so with my services, like when one of my top services is a curl rejuvenation.
Okay.
And so a lot of times those like if you're a first time client, that's gonna be the service you're gonna get.
Okay.
So when my client comes in, curl rejuvenation is basically doing like covering all bases of their hair
Hmm.
and giving them the education, not just like I'm gonna wash and condition your hair and then I'm gonna style it and that's it. Like
Yeah.
I'm walking them through the process as I do it. I'm showing them what I'm
Okay.
talking about. I'm explaining why I'm using this, why I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So usually with curly clients, whether if they want to keep their hair short, they'll come every like 3 to 4 months. If they like long hair, it'll be like a once a year thing. But every time they come back that second time, it's usually like, you changed my life. Like I did not
Yeah.
know my hair could look like this. I did not know it was this easy. Like I think that that's a huge thing for me that I like truly love.
You make your own products as well,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, and that's a big one because the product that I make is like the ideal product for pretty much every hair type.
Okay.
So it helps to define their curls, but it doesn't weigh it down. Most products, if they define your curls, they're going to be too greasy and weigh it down.
Okay.
Or it's not going to be have enough slip to like detangle your hair to define your curls.
Okay.
But with the product that I made, it's like the perfect mixture. So
Yeah.
it has slip, which slip is like a term in the curly community where it's basically
Okay.
slippery. It makes it slippery. So
Okay.
if you have knots in your hair, it has slip in it so that when you comb through it, it does not slip out basically.
Gotcha.
Which speaking of slip, it's called not too slippery. So
That's the name of
the
it?
play
Not
on
too
words.
slippery? Okay.
Like not as in, like a
Oh,
knot.
right, right. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, not too slippery. But yeah, it's like the perfect foundation for curls. And then like long term, when you use it long term, it helps for your hair to absorb water instead of being a
Okay.
product buildup.
For that
So like
moisture.
yeah,
Okay.
the true moisture. So
Yeah.
it just assists your hair in being healthy
Okay.
instead of like keeping the water out, which is what a lot of products do.
Damn. That's dope.
Yeah.
So, okay. So aside from the products, you mentioned the education, and then you just recently wrote your own book, right?
Yes. Yeah. It started out as an ebook, but then kind of I felt like it's sometimes it's better. I
Physical.
feel like having a physical book, so I started printing it. But yeah, so it's all about education. It's like all the tips that most people don't know
Yeah.
that are so simple. It's like the very foundation of curly hair.
Okay.
How to keep your curls moisturized, how to keep them healthy, what not to do, like all the
Was
basics
it a
that,
play on words too? What not to?
huh?
No, I was like, was it a play on words? Like
Oh,
what not to?
yeah, what not to do. But yeah, so it's literally the foundation of curly hair. It's like all the things that you need in order for your hair to thrive
Okay.
in the future. Yeah. And I started keeping a copy at the salon. So like while I'm teaching my clients too, or they're sitting under the dryer or whatever,
You just
they
have
can
to.
read through it. Yeah. And they're like, wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I'm like,
Yeah.
see?
What made you want to like write your own book, and what was the process like for that? Because I could barely sit down and like write like a little storyboard, let alone like I can only imagine what's like writing a whole book.
Um, it kind of started out like wanting to make sure that I'm covering all my bases when I have a client in my chair.
Yeah.
So I literally just started writing like all of the things that are the most important.
Okay.
And I thought it would be like a simple thing, but then when I like sat down and tried to write it out, it was like, this is
Kept adding
I
up.
have to explain like, like why do you do this? Why do you do that? So like instead of having my own blueprint, I was like, why not do a book? And then I
Yeah.
also felt like it gets me out of the chair and into other people that can't come to my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
if somebody really wanted to learn about curly hair, they don't have to be able to book with me.
right.
They can get the book.
Dang, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
don't really know two. I only know two authors. So the fact that when I saw like that you're posting it up,
Yeah.
and I'm also a fan of the photo, right? Like the
Yeah, yeah.
picture that we took.
Yeah, it's your picture.
Every time that we go through spring as a season, I always look at those flowers that are sprouting,
Same. Yeah.
and then I'm always thinking about like that was a good shoot.
It
Like
was.
I'm glad that you were open enough to be
Yeah.
like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Cause I know I was just like pitching you an idea, but I appreciate you like actually being open
Oh
about
yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah.
And seeing it on the cover, I'm like, I need to
It's
buy
so
one of the books.
Oh yeah, I should bring one here. I should have brought one dang.
What do you what's the name of the book and where can you find it?
It's called A Decade of Wisdom for Curly Hair, Unlocking the Curls. And it's on my Etsy, which is linked from my Instagram. So
Okay.
if anybody goes to my Instagram, which is HairByNature,
Yeah.
there's a link in my bio, and it has like
Yeah.
the list of all the
Everything.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
And then my product is also on my Etsy too. So I have those two things on there right now.
Also, one thing too that I noticed about you, right,
Mhm.
is that I feel like you kind of have like a spiritual side to you.
Mhm.
Does that come into play with everything that you do, or
Um,
is that something more for like your personal life?
that's kind of hard to put into words, but
Okay.
I mean, there's a voice that's always there for me.
Mhm.
I follow that voice.
Have you always been like I guess like spiritual in that
Yeah.
sense?
So my father was a pastor.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was just like a very calm man,
Yeah.
very like sure of himself,
Okay.
and I think like that was a really good example for me.
Yeah.
So there's just a knowing. I mean, I was raised very biblical,
Okay. Okay.
and so it's hard to even put into words, like
Yeah.
those kind of things. But I just I have that knowing. I have that voice in my head,
Yeah.
and I follow it. And when I get that voice in my head, I'm like 100% sure that this is what I got to do.
I like that. I like that. Like you mentioned earlier before we started the pod that I guess the you mentioned like a retreat, right?
Yeah.
And
So
then you
yeah.
had like the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm tripped out by it. So this was like this had to be like 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
Um, Me and my mom went to a women's retreat here. It was like with a church that she was in, and my mom did praise dancing and stuff like that, and so it was yeah, all the things. And so they started the retreat with playing music, like some calming music, and telling us to kind of like let our mind go, like see where your mind goes, like in a spiritual sense.
Okay.
And so I did, and I had a vision. I remember, I still have it in my head. I had a vision. I was standing in a salon, and I owned it. And I just remember like that stuck with me. And
Yeah.
so I kind of just I was like, that is so weird. Like I've never even thought about doing hair.
Yeah.
And so I remember I told my mom, like, I had this, we're at the retreat. I'm like, I had this vision, and I just like it will not get out of my head.
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe you should go check out the new schools. And they had just Milan had just came to Merced, which ironically was my mom's. My mom worked in that building for like so many years
Oh wow.
before it was child support. Yeah, and then it turned into Milan. But she's like, maybe you should go check it out. So I'm like, okay. And I went and I checked it out. I really wasn't that interested. I was gonna go for nails. I
Okay.
was like, maybe I could do nails because I'm an artist and I like to draw and paint and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then they convinced me to sign up for cosmetology, which is everything.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I 8 years later, 8 years later now, like fast forward and I'm 5 years in owning my salon.
Wow.
I talk about that a lot because it's just something that I cannot erase out of my memory. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
So good.
the voice that I'm talking about, or the visions that I'm talking about is like, that happens pretty often for me. Like, when something comes to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that's like the sign. That's the thing. I need to pursue that. This is what I need to do.
Yeah. With that being said, is there like any advice that you would give anyone who is trying to start off, following their career
Mhm.
or be in a position where you're at? Is there some advice that you would give them?
Um, I feel like if you have an idea or a vision or anything when it comes to that, you have to follow it.
Hmm.
If you don't follow it, I feel like it'll become that thing that you're always like, man, I wish I would have tried that, or I wish I would have done this or that.
Yeah.
That's like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's a saying, I don't know it exactly, but it's basically like if God gives you a vision and you don't pursue it, like you have so much time before someone else has that vision or God gives that vision to someone else. Like it's something that needs to be in the world and you were given the opportunity. And if you pass that up, somebody else might be given that opportunity.
Dang. I heard something similar like that. Yeah, I feel that. I
Yeah.
get that itch too, where I'm just like, I feel it.
You almost
I
feel like
see
there's a
it.
time limit. You're like, I gotta
Yeah.
get this out.
And then I'm like, damn, I gotta do this,
Yeah.
Because there have been instances where I'm like, I'm thinking about this and I want to
Hmm.
do it, and then I sleep on it,
Hmm.
and then I see somebody else doing it, and
Yep.
I'm like, I should have done it.
It had to be out in the world. The world needed it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
What's like a setback that you experience, and how did you come back from that?
Ooh, I would say, as far as my business, COVID
Okay.
was tough
Yeah.
because I had owned a salon before the one that I have right now,
Okay.
and I decided to look for another building because my lease was coming up, and I found the building I'm in now. It was in terrible shape, like it was really
Okay.
bad. I ended up looking for another building because my lease was coming up, and I found this building. And it was a building that I walked by every day for the year that I
Yeah.
was in my previous one, going to the little City or the little Mexican bakery.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it called?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is it
Yeah. But
City?
it's
I
like
don't know.
nearby, right?
But yeah, it's right there. Um, and I ended up getting that building, and my lease was going to be up in February,
Yeah.
and I was able to get that building. Well, my lease was up in February, and I was able to get the building in February.
Okay.
So I kind of transitioned. I literally walked my stuff down from one salon to the other because it was like
Right.
it was the next block over.
Yeah.
Um, got everything set up, like took my time, invested, actually like fixed stuff in there. Like I drywalled in there, I painted,
Right.
I did like a lot of stuff in that building to make it look better. And then 2 weeks after I opened, COVID hit. And
Oh,
they told
damn.
us we had to shut down.
Damn.
And like I was so upset because a lot of people when it came to our industry were like, you make a lot of money, like you should have a savings and da da da. I'm like, I actually did have a savings, but I put everything into this new salon.
Damn.
And so
You know what? I do remember the hair industry getting
yeah,
really targeted
it
when it
was
came to that.
yeah.
Like people were actually like checking up on them to
Yeah.
make sure they weren't open.
It was hard, and it was hard because I had just opened my salon
Yeah.
and I obviously want to make a living, but I obviously don't want to put anybody in danger,
Hmm.
and I didn't want people to think I was putting people in danger.
Yeah.
So we did get a lot of backlash, but then when it came to our actual community, like our clients, a lot of clients were like, I want to come in, like, please let me come in, you
Yeah.
know? And so I kind of had to make a decision, like, we're all of everything's at
That's a
stake
tough one.
here, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so in Outwater, actually, though, it kind of ended up turning around because they became a sanctuary city,
Oh, right.
which technically didn't help us because we're still under the state,
Mm.
like our licenses with the state, but at
Yeah.
least we knew like our community was kind of
Yeah. Back you
standing
on
with
it.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really hard because I didn't know what was going on. None of us knew what was going on like those
Hmm.
first 2 weeks, you know?
Yeah. It was
It
crazy.
was up in the air.
I think it's like a whole year, right? That we were like in
Yeah.
like
That
just
we were
about.
kind of up and down about it, you know? But then
Yeah.
now you look back and people are like, oh, it was the flu or whatever.
It's wild. Yeah. It's wild. That was a
But
different
yeah,
time for
that
sure.
that was a struggle for sure. But we came back from that. We ended up doing like contracts basically. Like if you came into the salon, you had to sign a contract
Okay.
and say that like you want to be here and that you're not sick, I'm not sick, and we're gonna do a service.
Yeah. You found a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I guess with all that and all the experience that you have now, what's some advice that you would give your younger self before you started this journey?
To release my doubt. I think that's like I feel like any entrepreneur would probably say that.
Yeah.
But just like being here now and looking back 5 years, like every step of the way I kind of halfway doubted myself, like I
Yeah.
don't can I do it? Like, you know, just don't doubt yourself and kind of like piggybacking on what we talked about before. Like if you're given a vision, like go all the way. Don't go halfway
Yeah.
or don't think about it too much. You know, obviously think about it, but not too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't overthink it.
Not too long. Don't overthink it. I'm a huge overthinker. So yeah, I would just say like you just have to commit because time's gonna pass anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Guess we keep moving.
yeah.
Do you have any and well, what does the future hold for Hair by Nature or Jeri?
In my long-term future, I hope to have a full product line and be like less behind the chair so I can like I love being a mom. I love doing hair. I love being a mom though. Like so I would love for my passion to create like something to where I could be with my family a little bit more often and not be stuck behind the chair all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
But still able to help people with their curls, which would be like through my product and through my book. That's my like ultimate goal is to do that. And then I have two daughters, and I'm sure they're gonna probably want to follow in my footsteps.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Because my daughter, my 9-year-old, she's already like, Mom, look, I learned how to braid. She's like braiding my planters, you know, the ones that have the
Yeah. Yeah.
the macrame at the bottom of it.
That's cute.
Yeah.
You know, I think like what's pretty cool about you as an artist and an entrepreneur is that aside from you already thinking long term, I think it's cool how you kind of create a ecosystem of you, right? Because you have like your services,
Hmm.
you have your
Hmm.
products, and then you have obviously like things that people can attain without them being there.
Yeah.
And it's like something that as any entrepreneur should probably like think about, or it's like you don't always have to be there in front
Yeah.
of the client.
Yeah.
You can do like these services without having to like, because as we get older, right,
Yeah.
we're not gonna have the same energy. We're not
Exactly.
gonna be able to like, our hands aren't gonna be as like
Yeah.
functional, right? And I think about that too with a lot of things. I'm just like, I gotta think about what I'm gonna do before I can't
Yeah.
move as I used to.
Exactly.
So I think like with
I think
everything,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool because
Yeah.
you know, unfortunately there's some things that like time passes by and you kind of like, don't get to do that. So
Hmm.
I haven't really seen I want to say like I know like a few people, but it's cool seeing somebody like
In the
here,
process.
yeah,
Yeah.
like doing it because I feel like representation is important. And when you see somebody that's like familiar or
Mhm.
somebody in the community, it just makes it more attainable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like she was able to do all that,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
100%.
So
I like how you said ecosystem because
eh,
I never thought of it that way, but that is kind of how I see it in my head. Like I created a service to help
yeah,
people, and then I also created a product, and then I also have a way to put out the knowledge. So it's like
yeah,
you don't always have to be here, you don't always have to be in the chair. I'm like I don't always have to stand behind the chair.
yeah,
I can still teach you, and I can still be a part of this community, and like educate my clients or
yeah,
people in the world
yeah,
with
yeah,
with
exactly.
my things with my what I created. So because that's really where it's at is like I love to create stuff. So
Yeah,
I
that's
just
starting
hope to
stuff.
kind of like keep on creating more.
I like that.
Right now it's a small
Yeah.
small piece of what I want to do.
Is there is there anything else that I haven't mentioned that you thought about on your way over here that you're like, I definitely want to talk about this?
No,
No?
not really.
Okay.
No. I'm like I tried to think, but
Uh-huh.
then if I think, then I'll overthink. So I was like, I'm just gonna let it flow because
Okay.
you ask great questions. So
No, I appreciate that. Okay, cool. Well, then where can people find you? Like what are your socials? And if you have a website, that way I can put it on the video.
my Instagram is HairByNature. That's really all. I don't have any other socials. And then everything is linked on my hair page on my Instagram.
Yeah.
If you click that, I have a list of
The
like my
links.
Etsy and then my booking site if you want to book. That's really about it.
Oh, and then your store. Maybe drop the address.
Oh yeah, my salon. It's 1150 Third Street in Atwater, downtown Atwater. It stands out. It's the building with all the plants in front.
It
A
does.
lot of people think it's everything but a salon. Somebody thought it was a fabric store. Somebody thought it was a plant store. Like everything except a salon, but it's a salon
Okay,
technically.
cool. All right, Jeri. Well, I think that's it. Thank you for coming on today. And yeah, cheers.
Thank
Cheers to
you.
that.
Thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming tonight for Cien Noches. Part two. We got Prado in the building. I think he's gonna perform a couple of hits for you guys. 209 Delhi. Delhi's very own. Sorry for all the troubleshooting, but we had to figure it out somehow, you know. All right, let's give a round of applause.
Test, 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 test. I go by Prado from Delhi. So the first song I'm going to get into is called Enter the Bearcat. This one was off the Bearcat album. And hope you enjoy it. I'm going to do a little mix of some hip-hop, some R&B, some Spanish, and take you through a little journey of a catalog that I got. So let's hit it. Yeah.
Breakdown of a dope sound, that boom blap to the background. Hit the boy up from across town, drop a 16 that'll break ground. Dope rhymes that'll confound, tweak sounds with the mix down. Release tracks, get the buzz round, using down low, such a compound. I'm not surprised about the people's reception. Skills on the decline after codeine ingestion. Now people label dope with sedated perception. Good at being bad is the latest obsession. For a dope blow, the boss set low like an open C cello. Prado and good rap go way back like horse hooves and jello. Hello to the patient ones, a diss to the complacent ones. Exterminate the simple ones by dropping tracks in megatons. For those of you that are fairly new to me, loonies who I used to be, but nothing's changing quality, so follow me. Let's walk through depravity and hold it down like gravity. This'll pass in brevity, reaching for longevity.
Next one is called Colors. This was dedicated to the homie Earn Dog. May he rest in peace. Long live Earn Dog. It's a special one. This one's close to home, so I hope you enjoy this one. So this song is called Colors. Dedicated to the homie Earn Dog. Long live Earn Dog. May he rest in peace. This one's close to home, so I hope you enjoy this one. Go ahead.
This canvas in front of me has become dull. It's not like before. My palette is full. This brush that I stroke paints grisaille and nothing more. These colors I pour, I can't seem to restore. Is it worth painting? Results are the same thing. These strokes that I'm waving, it all comes out great. My canvas don't do me, not from what I can see. What you see in color, I see in gray. How can you possibly understand remotely the loss of my colors? I'm not okay. Gray shades are turning black, it's affecting my soul, consuming it whole. same theme. This canvas is fading. All I see is gray. My canvas don't do me, not from what I can see. What you see in color, I see in gray. How can you possibly understand remotely the loss of my colors? I'm not okay.
That was for the homie Earn Dog. Long live Earn Dog, may he rest in peace. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Next one. This one is a oldie but goodie called Miss Gonzalez. I hope you like this one. For all the heartbreaks out there.
Fuck, I fucking had it too, god damn it. Alright. From the top.
There's no point if I stay, I'm dead. Your words are full of venom, get it out of my head. Your late night calls are distracting me. I gotta get a grip on reality. Can't you see? It could never be. Too much damage done emotionally. I don't know why I listen. Reminiscing, and it's me that you're missing. I know you fought with your significant other. That's why you called me hoping to talk like lovers. Even though I really miss it all, how it used to be. I can never forgive the fucking shit that you did to me, bitch. Do me a favor and one for yourself. Don't dwell on the past, cause it's bad for your health. You made your choice, now stick to it. Have a nice life with the person that you're stuck with.
I'm moving on, and I'll see you there. And I'm moving on, cause we ain't going nowhere. I'm moving on, cause I respect myself. And I'm moving on, find your fool somewhere else. And you got to help me
It's pretty sad, you have to admit. You threw it all away cause you couldn't commit. Now somehow I'm responsible for this, and I'm the main reason why these feelings exist. I miss you, I still love you, I want you. These words are hard to swallow and it sounded like they haunt you. I guarantee you won't hear it from me. I can give a fuck how you feel, that's most definitely. It was hanging on my sleeve, that's where I chose to wear it. My heart was yours to keep, and all you did was tear it up in pieces, folded up in creases. Emotions out of whack, but my wits help me cease it. I can't believe I'm sitting here listening. All these fucking words that you're saying don't mean shit to me. So please, stop before there's more damage. I got a brighter future, and without you I can manage.
I'm moving on, and I'll see you there. And I'm moving on, cause we ain't going nowhere. I'm moving on, cause I respect myself. And I'm moving on, find your fool somewhere else. And
Look, you need to understand. Look, let's be honest with each other. You can't be with another and talk to me undercover. Let's stop the bullshit before it turns to hate. Before I start to resent it, harsh words, I meant it. What's done is done, don't bring it up again. Build a bridge, let it go, all that's left is pain. I can see what you're trying to do. I would've called myself too if I was lonely as you. If you want something to play with, go and find yourself a toy. My time is too expensive and I'm not a little boy. I'm moving on and I'm never looking back. Don't expect to see me again cause it's really like that. I only wish the best, nothing more, nothing less. Let us leave it at that and save ourselves the stress. Don't ruin your trust for an urge of lust, cause everybody knows that it's meant to bust.
I'm moving on, and I'll see you there. And I'm moving on, cause we ain't going nowhere. I'm moving on, cause I respect myself. And I'm moving on, find your fool somewhere else. And
You got to help me. Miss Gonzalez. next one is called Your Love. Little R&B to throw it up in the mix. Hope you enjoy this one too.
I've given all that I can as a man, just to try to reach the promised land. Exhausted every ploy for a chance to break the walls of Troy. Tell me what's it gonna be, because the answer no is not for me. Cuffs and chains keep me shackled, I'm a slave to your beauty. Ooh, can't you see that I fight for you, your love, even though you purposely hurt me? Da-da-da-da. Can't you see that I fight for you, your love, even though you say you don't want me?
How many wounds do I endure until I realize there's an infinite wait until sentiments arise? Days on end and I'm still that friend whose back can bend but not comprehend. Rough road with no outlet, I tend to forget the promised descent into torment. Still take that avenue if it's a chance at having you. Delusional thoughts possibly breaking
Can't
through.
you see that I fight for you, your love, even though you purposely hurt me? Da-da-da-da. Can't you see that I fight for you, your love, even though you say you don't want me? Da-da-da-da.
That one was called Your Love out of the Bearcat album. And hope you enjoy that one as well. This last one right here, this one is called Ya No Puedo, my first crack at in Spanish. So check this out. This is a little corrido talking about being the other one. So hope you guys enjoy this one too.
Yo ya no puedo más contigo, mi bendición, mi castigo, mi delirio. Tu misma esencia es lo que corre por mis venas porque he sido maldecido. Porque no puedo más sostener el peso de esta tristeza. Maldito anillo de oro, algunos ven un tesoro, mientras estoy envuelto en su odio. Oh, yo ya no puedo seguir así, aunque realmente quiero. Mi pena habita los pasos ligeros. Tienes prohibidades y no soy el primero. Yo ya no puedo más seguir con este lío que me mata. Romper este ensueño, aunque yo quiero más contigo, es algo prohibido. Y yo soy Prado, el osito del valle. mi bendición, mi castigo, mi delirio. Tu misma esencia es lo que corre por mis venas porque he sido maldecido. Porque no puedo más sostener el peso de esta tristeza. Maldito anillo de oro, algunos ven un tesoro, mientras estoy envuelto en su odio. Oh, yo ya no puedo seguir así, aunque realmente quiero. Mi pena habita los vasos ligeros. Tienes prioridades y no soy el primero. Yo ya no puedo más seguir con este lío que me mata. Romper este ensueño, aunque yo quiero más contigo, es algo prohibido.
That's it. That was called Ya No Puedo. Yo Ya No Puedo from the latest album, the Thicky Bear album. So I hope you guys enjoyed this performance tonight. I enjoyed performing it to you guys and sharing my music. And check me out on all streaming platforms under Prado or igprado.thickybear. So I hope to see you guys soon. All right. Take care.
All right, everyone. That concludes it. That's it. We got a good set. You know, short and sweet, just how we like it. Thank you for stopping by. Obviously, some of you guys, you know, are tenants here, so could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys.